Hey, I'm back with another story time, Okay, so where we left off last time, I think we left off, it was going in from 2019 to 2020 when COVID came. So when COVID came, like I said, I ended up saying I was going back home to Florida to visit, and I was gonna go back to Atlanta. And I was gonna stay in Florida for about a week, and then go back and start working again and get myself together, trying to find a place and all that stuff. But when I ended up going to Florida in February, it was March 18th, 2020. I went to Florida. By this time, I wasn't on social media. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell y'all in the last video. So from the end of 2018 up until 2020, I had completely shut down my social medias. I was not posting no videos, so I wasn't posting no videos or anything. So around that time, if I was on social media, I probably would have got monetized then, but I didn't know anything. I had left that world. I was just out in the streets grinding, doing Uber, Lyft, and all that stuff. Like, I was literally out there grinding. So I didn't know anything about being monetized on Facebook, Instagram, or none of that. So 2020, March 18th, I moved to Florida. I didn't have no social medias. So I ended up going back home to visit. And when I went there, when I got to Florida, they announced that Georgia was locked down. They said they was locking down Georgia. So I'm like, lockdown? Then they came and they locked down Florida. So I'm like, oh my God. So around that time, I ended up meeting up with some school friends that I ended up going to school with. And I was like, hey, I'm back in town. They was like, oh my God, we've been trying to get in contact with you. Where have you been? Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, I said I was incognito. So they was like, we was just talking about you. You gonna live a long time and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come. So I went to go visit them, and they was like, one of them had a salon, and the makeup artist was working with the one that had the salon. So she was like, why won't you work at the salon until you go back home, make you some money while you here and then when it's over, you could go back to Georgia or whatever. And I'm like, huh? I said, I was iffy because I didn't have any clients. I wasn't doing hair like that. I was more so making wigs and things. So this is when I literally had to use my skills and put what I was watching all those days, I was watching and learning and trying to do stuff, I had to put that to use, because when I didn't know exactly what I was doing until I actually started working in the salon. So that working in the salon, and we was, God forgive me, but we was in the salon trapping. Like when I got there, she had people coming from her hometown and then like the walk-ins and stuff. So I started getting clients, and then like it was crazy because we was booming, and I would help on the slow days that I was slow. I would help her break down her clients and things like that. So we was booming. We wasn't supposed to, but we was still booming. We were extra careful. We was cleaning everything. We was doing everything that we was supposed to do. We was sneaking them in through the back door and letting them go out. So we was still trapping during the pandemic when we was on lockdown. But yeah, everything was going good. I started building myself, and then around, I say the end of 2020 is when things started shifting with the energy and being around them and stuff like that, being around the people at the salon and stuff, because there was a lot of stuff going on. But me, I'm the type of person, I like to try to be the peacemaker, and if you say something, if you come to me about somebody else and you're telling me about this person, I'm going to be the one to dissect the situation and be like, well, why did they do this? And you were wrong. You was wrong because you shouldn't have said that. Yeah, they was wrong, but you was wrong too. You shouldn't have said it. And a lot of people, they don't like that. They just want to hear the person is wrong at the time. So I wasn't like that. I'm like, right is right, wrong is wrong. And I'm going to call it how I see it. And that's just what it is. So, and then it's just like, it was a whole lot of, how girls could be. it's just a whole lot of back and forth and under backstabbing type of stuff, and then one person acting like they cool in your face, and but behind your back they got a problem with you secretly, and it's just like, it was just a lot. So so into 2020, I ended up catching COVID at the end of 2020. Went to a birthday dinner, and I went to a birthday gathering and end up catching COVID from one of them or whatever. And when I tell you, I was down for like 10 days. I couldn't even count. I just know I was down, and I went to the hospital about 3 to 4 times because I could not breathe. I was having these episodes, like if I was to go urinate, I would, like, my breathing would like clunk out on me, and I was just like, I was like gasping for breath, and they was telling me that nothing went wrong at the thing, but something was clearly wrong, because every time I went to use the restroom or something, I would get short of breath, and I was like having these episodes to where I could not breathe. It's like my throat and everything was closing up on me, and I would have to sit there and like literally count and like, all right, just breathe. I had to tell it was mental. I had to tell myself in my head, like, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. So I went to the hospital. Then they ended up telling me I had COVID and I had pneumonia or whatever. So they gave me an asthma pump, which that thing was doing nothing. They gave me an asthma pump. It helped a little bit, but it really didn't. They gave me that, and they were like, you just gotta stay at home, get some sunlight. Baby, I couldn't even move talking about get some sunlight. And when I did try to go outside, it was just like to get some air, because I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I end up coming off COVID. When I started getting a little better off COVID, it was brought to me that it was talk about the salon owner saying, I hope he don't think because he got COVID that he don't have to pay his booth rent. It was stuff like that. And I'm just like, why would that even be an issue? Why would you even say anything like that? Like, who says stuff like that? Like, I hope he don't think because he had COVID. Like, nigga, I literally almost died. But that's neither here nor there. And no, ain't nobody, and this is coming from a person that always thought that somebody was out to get them. So I don't blame her. So it was how she was raised. So I don't blame her. She's changed now, but thank God. But at the time, it was just like, be for real. Like, you're just so messy that you would say something like that. And then it was just a whole lot of gossip. And I'm the type of person, I don't care. When I stop dealing with people, I stop dealing with you. I know how to be cordial, but once I stop dealing with you, I stop dealing with you. So whatever you say about me, I'm not defending myself. I'm not coming back convincing you, oh, I was right, you was wrong. I'm not doing none of that. I'm too grown. So I'm not doing none of that. I'm telling you. So you can say what you want to say, but it always finds its way to me. Like, every time somebody says something, I even have feelings and visions and dreams, like I know exactly what was said. So when I go and I used to tell my cousin, I'd be like, watch such and such, da 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 da, and then I show her, I'd be like, what I told you. She was like, how the hell you know them like a book? It wasn't that. It was God was revealing to me things. He was revealing things to me that was going on. So I was just like, yeah, no. But anyways, so things started drifting a little bit. I was just in my own zone because I was trying to do more. I wanted to start my wig line, and I didn't really want to be behind the chair no more doing hair, but I really wanted to like do my wig, get my wig business up and running. I was working on my website. So I was doing a lot of that stuff. But we did, and I will say this, we did come together. We did come together once I got, this was in December. So January came and I got well just in time enough for my birthday. Was I okay for New Year's? I think I probably was down. I don't know if I was down for New Year's or if I was up, but New Year's came, my birthday was January 6th, so I ended up getting well in time enough for my birthday. No, I think I got better by New Year's, because that's how I met this girl that put me on. So by New Year's, I end up, like, I went to go clean the shop, like clean my area because I had my own room in there. I went to go clean the area and stuff, you know, wipe everything down, make sure everything's sanitized and, you know, all that other good stuff. So I had to cancel some bookings because I was sick, so I had to reschedule some things, and then they ended up coming. And I met this girl who told me about the stimulus when they was going around. So, was it the stimulus? Or was it the PPP? It was one of those. And she was like, you got your business? And I'm like, yeah, I got a business. She was like, is it registered? Yes, all that. All of that. So, so what I did was, so this was like May, we did come together, and I was able to buy a lot of stuff for my business, like merchandise, all that stuff. I was able to get a lot of stuff. And I ended up shooting like a commercial, like a short film commercial for my wheel line for when I was gonna launch my website. So we all came together for that. And I was grateful for everybody that came together, the makeup artist, the hairstylist, the braider, my cousin, all of them. I was happy that we came together and they made that day so great for me. It was so successful for me. So I'll forever be grateful for that. And then like after that, it was just like a lot of stuff going on. Then I was living with my cousin at the time, and at this time they were about to move, and they were about to move in another place. So by this time, it was like I had to figure out what I was gonna do because they were moving somewhere else. So I had to figure out what I was gonna do. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Daytona, I guess. Go back to Daytona, go up there, because I was really, by this time, trying to get to Georgia. And I think I ended up going to Daytona. And it was crazy because I ended up going to Daytona. No, I ended up going to Georgia. I ended up moving to Georgia because I was like, this is the last day that I'm gonna be working at the salon. I gave them a warning or whatever, and I let her know like, hey, I know I'm behind on booth rent or whatever, but I'll pay you back as I go. So she was like, okay, no problem. I know you will because you always paid your booth rent. So boom. So I was like, but I do have an appointment that I have to come back for in January because I already booked it. She already paid for it or whatever. So I just got to come back. So I know I'm not going to have my room. So will I be able to use your station or whatever? She's like, yeah, you know, you can use my station. Just. So when I came back to do the hair or whatever, she just act like she totally forgot like what he doing here. He ain't paid me no booth rent. This was the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. So, and it was being brought back to me like, oh, he owed me this, he owed me that. And he, as if we didn't even talk about anything. So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. So I didn't have the time or the energy, baby. I was going through too much in life to be sitting up here arguing about something that I know what I said and you know what I said. So it was like, I wasn't gonna let it take my energy at all. So I ended up doing that. You know, then I was just like, I ended up leaving, going back to Georgia. I ended up going back to Georgia because I came down here just for that appointment and I had to go back to Georgia. So I went back to Georgia for a little bit, and then, what was this, 2021? Yeah, I think it was 2021. I went to Georgia, then I ended up coming back. I ended up moving back, and I ended up moving to Daytona with my sister. And her boyfriend. And this is a whole nother ballgame. So I ended up moving to Daytona with them, and then I ended up getting a job on my birthday. I got hired for Greg Norman. It was a clothing store. I ended up getting hired for that. And let me tell y'all how good God is. I went to go get interviewed. Me and this other boy went to get interviewed. He was from another country, but we went to go get interviewed. The store wasn't open yet, so the store was being brand new. It wasn't even started yet. They were still remodeling and like building it. So we went for an interview. He was applying for assistant manager. I think I was applying for, I don't know if I was doing key holder or assistant assistant manager, but he was like, y'all both applying for assistant manager? I was like, yeah. So we did our interview. He ended up coming late or whatever. So we did our interview. So he ended up calling me. I think he ended up calling me that next day. He was like, hey, yeah, we're gonna go with the other guy as assistant manager. But if you want to be a key holder, I would love to have you on board or whatever. So I was like, yeah, because at this time I couldn't find a job. I was like, I need some work. I need some income. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take it, whatever. So I wasn't really pressed. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So it was kind of like, okay, wow. So why did I say, God, you know what? I didn't get the position. I didn't get the position that I wanted, but I'm grateful. So I'll go in here, I'll do what I have to do. And this is the prayer. This is actually me talking to God. I said, I'll go in here, I'll do what I have to do. I'll make the best of it. And then if it's time for me to move up, I'll move up. I said, thank you so much for this opportunity. I kid you not. By that next day, I think it was that next day, he called me back. He was like, hey, how you doing? He was like, hey, are you still interested in the assistant manager position? Because the other guy, he crapped out. And I was like, of course. He was like, so when? He was like, all right, so we're going to start this. We need you to come to Estero, Florida. We need you to come to Estero, Florida on this day because we're going to go over there and we're going to train you over there. So at this time, I'm like, nigga, I don't have no job. I don't got no job. I don't got no money to get there. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, I'll get there. You know what? Because I was saying, Kareem, you going to make a way to get there. So I'm up there like, okay, good. I got you. So it was time was ticking. It was about time for me to get ready to go up there. He was like, hey, we're gonna pay for your hotel room and travel, but they pay you after the fact. So I was like, hey man, I don't got no money. I had to break down and like put my pride to the side and be like, hey, I don't have any money to come to make it there. And he was like, oh, no problem. How about I just cash out you the money, and when you get your first check, you just pay me back. I was like, bet. So I was like, bet, let's do it. So we did that, and I ended up going up there. I'm talking about, I wore the wrong shoe. When I tell y'all my feet was hurt so bad, I wore them dress shoes. They was like, you should have brought some tennis shoes. Man, I thought we was gonna be working. I didn't know we was gonna be remodel, like we was transferring them from one store to another department. So it was from this store, and the new store was around the corner. So we was breaking down the stuff and setting up a new store. But I'm telling you, when I get in there, it was sweat, blood, and tears. I was going for what I knew, because I'm like, yeah, I'm finna get in here, baby. They was blown away. They was so happy. They was like, oh, we can't wait till you open up your store. We really like him, So I ended up leaving there. I think I stayed there for like 4 days, and then I went back to Daytona. So we were supposed to open up our store like when the next 10 days, but we didn't. We pushed it back, and they was like, hey, we need you in the sterile again. And mind you, we got paid every 2 weeks. So this was within that time frame of, I just left there, and then they told me within 2 days, hey, they need you back in the sterile. They really need your help or whatever. If you could go back and help them. And he was like, I'm gonna be going to South Carolina to help them at that store. So I was like, so I'm like, damn. I'm like, he was like, if you need me to send you some money, he was like, if you need me to send you some money, and I'll just send you the money. And then I was like, good, okay, good, I'll do it. So I ended up going back, and I think I stayed, how long did I stay this time? Was it a week? I don't know. It could have been a week I stayed, and then I stayed there, then I went back. Then we ended up going to our store, which we had to open our store. And that was like, I was like in my element. And I think that's what turned me, like me working at, that was like I'm gonna say this, that was like one of the best jobs I ever had. I kid you not. That was one of the best jobs that I ever had in my life, because the pay was good and the work was something that I was like, I liked. Like, it was a golf store. It was a clothing golf store. So like, you know, Greg Norman, the Shark. So it was amazing. It was amazing from setting up the store, working, and I went from assistant manager to a bench manager where I was traveling to help other stores, set up other stores, run other stores and that's a whole other story, but I'm gonna get to that. And Then I ended up going from assistant manager, bench manager, and assistant manager to being an assistant store manager in St. Augustine. So that whole thing was amazing, but it started taking a turn when I started having car problems, and then it was just like, I was like, hey, I can't, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it this day because I'm having car troubles. And this was like 2 days before I had to go back to work, I think. I'm like, I'm having car trouble, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it today. I just want to let you know in advance. It was like, oh, can you please make it? We really need you. Da 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 da. Not saying, hey, hey, is everything okay? Or just nothing, just wasn't concerned. And by this time, I had did so much. Like, anytime you needed me, I was there. I didn't care what I had to stop doing in my life. I was there. Traveling, I was there. Because I like to go to different stores, but it was still, I was there. Even when I had to work by myself in a store with one person. It was one person that was a part-time person. I worked for like 10 days straight by myself with this one person that was part-time. So I was just like, so I call and just say, hey, I might need this day off, which I knew I was gonna put my car in the shop. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be out the shop in time enough. So I was just letting you know. They're like, hey, we really need you, like as if you couldn't make some way. But yeah, that's neither here nor there now. But but that was, and this was 2022. This was 2022, around that time. So I end up leaving there because I was going to be moving to Georgia. And right when 2022, I got monetized in 2022. I think it was in July. I end up going back on social media, and then I seen the notification for me to get monetized, and I end up sending in my stuff, and then that was the process. So I got monetized, and then once I got monetized, that's when I was back on the scene, and my videos was doing really, really good. And I think it was like I think that month, what was it? By August or something. By August, I think I made like $4,000 something dollars. And that's a whole nother story, but I just want to let y'all know, I think when I got monetized within that month, I think I made $4,000 something dollars. So, but I didn't get that money, and I'll tell y'all in the next clip, because I'm gonna wrap this up right here. But I ended up leaving that, I ended up putting in my 2 weeks notice, but I ended up leaving before my 2 weeks notice was up, because I was just like, yeah, I'm moving to Georgia. So I loaded all my stuff up, and I was having problems with my sister's boyfriend, baby daddy boyfriend, whatever it was, because he was trying to be money hungry. So we was like bickering back and forth, and like, I can see if I'm giving you rent money, you don't come asking me for rent money early just so you could go and blow it on your nose. No, we're not doing that type of stuff. So it was just a whole lot of stuff going on. So I'm just like, I can't win for lose. I'm like, so I ended up packing my stuff. He was like, well, and I was just like, I got to the point to where I'm like, I'm not giving you no more money, because now I done found out that we got the paper saying that the house is going into foreclosure and you haven't been paying nothing. So what am I giving you money for? So by that time, I stopped paying, and then he said, oh, if you ain't gonna pay nothing, you're gonna have to leave. Nigga, you're not paying nothing either, obviously. So I'll leave when I find what I'm gonna do, I'll leave. But I end up leaving anyways, and I think I end up leaving, packing up all my stuff, and I end up going to get a hotel. I got a hotel some nights, and then I slept in my car some nights. But when once it started becoming a bit much, I was like, yeah, I'm finna leave this job and whatever, because by that time I was sleeping in my car again. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave this job. I didn't even finish out my 2 weeks. I should have finished out my 2 weeks, because if I wanted to, I could have went back, but I didn't finish out my 2 weeks. I'm like, I just need to go. So I ended up I had all my stuff loaded up. So I ended up going to Georgia, staying with my homegirl, and that'll be another episode. So I'm gonna stop it right here. So this is around August or September. No, I think it was between August and September 2022. And I thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for the next stay tuned for the next part. I think this is part 3. Is this part 3? I think it's part 3, so stay tuned for part 4. Thank y'all for tuning in.